idea how the live video will work today, so if anybody missed it, it's their loss.
Which one?
The internet's too sketchy today.
Oh.
Do you want me to get off?
No, it is what it is.
Okay.
The whole idea is if they really want it, they can show up.
Exactly.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it
Is
doesn't.
this your first time here?
It is.
What do you do?
I had to help people transfer from pain to peace. We work longer.
What kind
To
of pain?
power.
Physical pain or emotional pain?
Both.
Both. I got lots of pain. It's all physical though.
What would your interest be in investing a minute to find out more how you could?
I
Wake
always
up.
invest a minute.
Okay.
It's just a speck of time.
It's just a second time. I'd be lovely to
Maybe we can
set
hang
up
around
an
afterwards.
appointment with you
Sure.
and give you some options.
Awesome. Right now my only options are surgery.
Well, remind me to tell you a little story about that.
He's got a lot of people telling him stories.
Yeah.
See, that's a good Facebook Live.
Right.
Tell me a little story.
So given the nature that most of the people that I've seen run through like networking groups especially, that's a pretty big number. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Anybody be happy to make that with about a month's worth of work?
Mm-hmm.
So we did a launch with Kyvio, that was one of our clients, and that is actually what we came up, and this is the disappointing number. So that's not a bad gig. There is some tech behind it where they offered their technology, but the majority of what was being sold was informational products. The launch was informational products. The ad spend was minimal. Meet Leonard was heavily used. I know David, Virginia, did you get Meet Leonard?
Not yet.
No. Brandy, did you get that one? You just never used it.
Yeah, I
right?
have it and I had trouble installing it. They sent me a revised thing and I've been too busy to redo it.
Okay. So the launch though was fairly simple. It didn't require a ton of technology.
That's correct.
It did not require a ton of ads. It did require a lot of time, which a lot of people here have. The getting over yourself and reaching out to your network, right? Not in a unvaluable way, like not just hard pitch, buy my stuff sort of way, but you do have to outreach to the network. You do have to outreach to people you don't know. Does help if you have a targeted avatar, that you have a strategy, those sorts of things. It did not require a lot of branding. It did not require really hard websites. It didn't require really highly technology ads and pixeling and all that. It was probably not the best type of launch for a technology SaaS product. It is better, and it was modeled after somebody who sold more of an informational membership, book, author, speaker, healer, life coach, that sort of thing, because it just has a broader audience. Whereas this one had a very limited audience. You start talking landing pages and pixels and you lose most of the population, right? Which is fine. It's a great way to call your audience out by using big words. But this would definitely, and did do better for Jay Shetty, who did it, who's like a Tony Robbins. He's like the Indian guy who does the same kind of like speaking. If you've seen him on Facebook, I've seen lots of his posts. The framework of it, though, is basically around a Facebook group. So for Dave Roberts over here, I know he's already got a Facebook group on a free level. That free Facebook group. On the chart on the back of this, that is at the awareness stage. And in that Facebook group, the launch is based around a 5-day series of Facebook Lives. Ignore my handwriting, it's terrible. If you don't understand something, I'll walk you through it. In those Facebook Lives, you're basically teaching a part of the whole. So you're taking, let's say, in this case, we had a 30-day course. We broke it up and we took the first 9 days, which we seem to be like the most critical, the most easy win. You do want to give somebody that quick win. Quick win is vital. Giving them some of the information that you think would be most valuable right up front, not getting into the techie hard stuff. Like obviously if I teach somebody how to build perpetual traffic and I talk about all the landing pages and I talk about all the Facebook ads and the pixels And what it takes to build all that, that gets too techy and I've lost everyone. They're like, I can't do this. But if you can give them the quick wins right up front, stuff that they can do easily, and that's, I'm using my technical jargon for speaker author, giving them the framework. It could be giving them the idea. It could be giving them the overall strategy, but not teaching them the tactical aspects of implementation. The idea, though, that is this right here is only part of what you're teaching. It is the part of a bigger whole. Each one of these ended up being about 2 hours. The exception was this one. This one was 2.5 hours. This was a big win. This one takes more finagling. This took getting like the equivalent of a celebrity, right? Whatever your celebrity is for your avatar, getting someone that they care about, that they value, that they respect. And this is almost the bait. Celebrity, if I can spell the word celebrity. Getting someone that they really want to hear talk anyway. If you're promoting the person, and the angle here is really simple, what does that person value? So I feel like it's like politics. Okay, well, this person needs this to make them do that, but that person won't do that until they get this, and that person needs that, and you have to like make 5 different people happy to accomplish one simple task. Kind of like that in that way. But what does that celebrity want? So in this particular case, that celebrity wants to sell his own tickets. He has an event in February. It's a really big. All he wants is butts and seats. The ticket costs money to cover the cost of the event. He'll sell stuff. He makes advertisers and booth people happy by having butts and seats. He needs butts and seats. So I'm going to make him happy by, in our package, so the thing we actually sold, number one critical aspect was tickets. We would be purchasing so many tickets for every buyer of our Ultimate program. So we promised so many people on the front end would attend and be part of this Facebook group. On Monday, we started with 511 people. So, I mean, that's a lot to get into a Facebook group that are targeted people, right? Not just your friends that you automatically added and you're going to take them off. Don't do that. Give them the option. By, I think this morning, we were up to 972. So that number grows. When somebody watches this, has anybody seen the TEDx talk where it talks about like followers and how to build a following in like 3 minutes? And it bases like you have a lone nut who's dancing like crazy, and the person that matters most is not the lone nut. It's the second person that comes in and follows that individual. Because once it's socially acceptable to go out there and dance, now 2 people are doing it, and then that person gets another person who gets another person. There comes a tipping point where if you're not following and dancing, you're the crazy one. But nurturing these people and launching with like a really great content right off the front. So something highly actionable, something that's not out there, something that people forget. We had a ton of worksheets. Were cool. I wasn't going to share them, but I could recognize the content was really difficult without the worksheets. And so I was like, you know what, we were going to reserve those for the buyers, but you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give the basic worksheets away. One, you can find most of them on there. One was really not available. I shouldn't have included it, but I did anyway. But the worksheets were so great and everyone had such a good experience from that live. Then they start adding their friends and saying, hey Bob, you need to see this. Go back and watch this one. You really need this content. It's only free for a week. So that was a big critical, was there was a time limit. Got to have a time limit. The reason behind the time limit, at least what you're telling your people, but it is true, don't lie. If there's not a real time limit, don't be a jerk and lie. Was this free content would become a paid product. So it's free. This is actually how we're building the content, but we're going to turn around, chop it up, and we're going to make it paid content. So get it now while it's free, or we're going to rip it out from under you. So this time limit was a critical piece. Well, everyone's like, how do you get people over here? They actually had a list of 4,000 people, email list. So this is why email lists are important. The problem is this list, I don't want to say it was old, it was unengaged. So of that list, only maybe 1,000 people read it. and even less actually came in. So I would argue that was probably 100 people, which is sad out of a 4,000 person list. But when it's unengaged and people stop opening your emails because you don't provide enough value, that's what you get. That's 100 of the 511. Another big aspect, just ask on Facebook. So going to your personal page and doing a Facebook ebook, whatever, Facebook Live, posting on your business platform. This is where you can do ads if you wanted to. Going through and messaging people individually that you think would actually be interested in. Kind of along with that, I would say a big aspect was partners. That wasn't something they considered, but that because they didn't feel like they were ready to bring on partners, but partners don't always have to be the big guns. So they didn't want to go reach out to their big partners that they went because they were like, my technology is not ready yet. I need 9 more months because I would be embarrassed to show my mentor and then ask them to show it to their list. That's fair enough, but not all partners have to be celebrities, right? Going and specifically using Facebook and LinkedIn to outreach to people who have smaller influence. You don't need a 100,000 list type partner. You can have someone who has the ears of 100 people. If they have, I don't know, a meetup group that speaks every Friday and people listen to what he says, that is a potential partner if those people represent your ideal audience. So you can turn around and go to the people you already know, who already like you, who already respect you, who've already used you, and say, hey, I'm doing a free training. It's not going to be one-on-one. I will be there live to answer questions if they're there live. For those people who can't make time zone, because we were working with a global audience, that was really difficult as far as time zone goes. What starts at 2 o'clock here, and I'm actually exhausted by 4 o'clock, was the client's 10 o'clock to midnight, and other people's 3, 4 in the morning. So understanding time zones, but if you are a more local audience, you can avoid a lot of these issues. Facebook Live, you can leave it up for the updates, but one of the most critical parts was definitely leveraging partners using Facebook and LinkedIn outreach. We didn't ask for a lot. Hey, if you want to share it with your list, you can get an affiliate link, or you can get the bonus for sharing, and we have some things for the people who share. Here's the email copy. Literally giving them the social post copy and the email copy. So they didn't actually have to think about it. It was given to them, and we just said, hey, edit and make it your own. Don't just copy paste, personalize it a little bit. Most of those people jumped on Facebook Live almost immediately. Because you're asking them a favor, but you're also giving them something where they can add value to their audience. And especially if this is a business networking partner, that's valuable because they get to add something free to their people that's pure value. They're the node who told them about that, and they get to share it. Their people get the value. They're actually going to put that good feeling towards the partner. You still get the audience. Sales increase because they know someone involved. So it's not like you're a complete stranger. No, you're the one that knew David, and David says you're good, so you must then be good. So you get some of that love, that referral love on you.
Reciprocal edification.
There we go, fancy words. The other big one was automated LinkedIn usage using Meet Leonard. By far, no other way that this would have scaled the way it did without Meet Leonard. Some people were pissed, but I would say the people out of all the messages I sent over the course of 2 weeks, 3 people were ticked off. I sent them an automated message because my automated messages look so custom because it says something like, I know you're a life coach and I think this would be a good fit for you with this, or this company would be a good fit. And I can customize those pieces with the auto. Because a couple of them were like, I'm no longer in that industry. And because the filters didn't filter out a couple things, it picked up a couple people's old jobs. So if you're using Sales Navigator, much easier. When you're using the basic search, so I learned really quick, don't use the basic search, hop over to Sales Navigator because you can ensure that you're getting someone's current company versus their old company. So that was like my learning curve right there.
Is the Sales Navigator in LinkedIn?
It is, it's $74 a month. So not a lot of money in paid ads here. Paid mostly would come from Sales Navigator, Meet Leonard, which I think Meet Leonard's like $20 a month.
And is it Leonard, Leonard? I thought it was Meet Letter is what I heard.
No, Meet
No,
Leonard.
Okay.
Like Leonard is a
Um,
little guy with glasses.
Emails lists usually cost, the cost of your active campaign. Meet Leonard, or not Meet Leonard. What do people use? MailChimp, Constant Contact, Kyvio. You could have completely taken out the ads there. I would have added, wasn't my call, Facebook retargeting to the landing page. So before they hit here, all this traffic pointed to a landing page built with Kyvio, really simple. Like it was not special at all. It did utilize UpViral for sharing. That was a waste. Terrible, terrible waste. I think the incentive was a little too big. If the incentive had been downplayed a little bit, instead of being something really big where they wanted someone to share 1,000 people, make it something simpler, like if you would like all the worksheets, share this. Really simple. I won't say, UpViral's the most terrible. I would have used Gleam, but Gleam's $47 a month, and UpViral's nowhere near that. Rafflecopter is another good one that can be used. I think there's a couple of other ones on the market. Basically, this is just something that says, if you share this page on your social media, we're gonna give you points or deliver you something special. So you can program it, and I say program it, I mean click a few boxes and say, if somebody shares this on Facebook, then we're gonna automatically send them this PDF that you've specifically stated, right? The idea though is if you do drive 500 people of traffic and they turn around and share it to 500 more people, that this gets more notoriety. And if you are trying to build search engine optimization, that helps. If you're looking to just gain branding and awareness, that helps. That always depends. Then that landing page, they would get an email and they would hit a thank you page that said join this group, and it gave an outline of all the times. Links would have been helpful, that would have taken more forethought. The ability to do these Facebook Lives was done through Zoom. I think that is $47 a month to do Facebook Live that way. The nice part is, I'm just thinking, I'm not actually looking at you for answers, sorry. It enables you to do an easy Facebook Live conference. So with 2 people on Facebook Live, it made that easier. You don't need it. Where it made it nice was I can turn around and do a screen share on Facebook Live. You can also do that with Believe, which I believe is half the price. Has some fancier things, not as easiest to use, I would say. But if you practice with it like 1 or 2 times before and kind of get the hang of it, it does have a nice user interface. But to be able to screen share, you have to do the one that's made for like, what was it, interview, not just interviews. There's like solo, interview, and broadcast.
Zoom has a free version too,
But not to Facebook Live.
not to Facebook.
To get the Facebook Live, you have to pay. And so even if I have a paid Zoom subscription, on top of that, I don't know, $10, $20, $14, I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark range that I pay for Zoom so I can have more than one person for over an hour.
Yeah.
You have to pay an additional $47 a month for the capability to take a Facebook Live. So Facebook, or the Believe program, I think is $24 a month, and it will do screen share and interviews. Zoom was definitely easier, and if you were interviewing people, people already know how to use Zoom. Whereas Believe, there's all sorts of extra links and people aren't, both of you can schedule the broadcast so people know what's coming. You can add an actual Facebook event to make it easier to invite people. That was a lost cause that wasn't done until Celebrity Day and only on the last minute. That wasn't that bad. I'm trying to think if I forgot any pieces. On this day, the idea was to do it on Friday, but Celebrity Dude couldn't show up on Friday because he doesn't schedule anything on Friday. Gotta work around your celebrity, right? This was pitch day. This is pitch day because everyone's showing up for the celebrity. Great to have great content over here so that you can front load people and we basically almost doubled how many people were in the group from Monday to Thursday. Having pitch day there, he actually cut me off mid-pitch because he showed up and I'm not gonna keep pitching while he's on there, right? Letting everybody open it up to questions and just asking them. I actually had filled in a bunch of questions the day before. I was like, ask your questions for Ryan here. Because there's no way, like, watching the feed is very difficult while like those questions are coming, and we were having like 300, 400 comments on the live video. So you would get it and then all of a sudden it'd be off your phone and you couldn't even see it on there because there's just too many people going back and forth. So having some already done, everyone wants to ask the same questions anyway. Once you figured out what those are, it's easy. A couple of people did make it hard on me, like, oh, that's a good idea. Because I'm stupid, that's the answer. I didn't think about it, but now I will. But having a pitch on there, and then on the pitch stack. I don't have a better word for that. Stack your pitch. So any one of y'all probably has a core thing that you offer, right? I know for Virginia, it's a very particular, like, not membership, but a class that she wants to take people through. Taking that to a membership where they can have it forever would probably be helpful. Stacking it and saying, hey, you can come live and you're going to get the membership and you're going to get this and you're going to get this, and literally showing that on the screen and letting them know, hey, these tickets are $1,995 right there on the screen where they can see it. Those worksheets, oh, write the $ twice. $297. The membership, what did we value that at? It was pretty high. That's going to include, so we had some scripts. Scripts make stuff easy for them. So if you're, for us, this is marketing, of course, so not necessarily what y'all are. This is literally the emails you're going to send. So I'm going to tell you how that is. We're actually going to give you the funnel. So we're just going to copy it over. So you don't have to use the bad templates. You can use the funnel that's already built to all the specifications. Just change the colors, change the names, rewrite the copy, but you can see the order of the copy, blah, 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 blah. The idea is to make it easy. Whatever end goal they're trying to achieve, that idea of this is where your client is, this is where they want to be, making this as easy as humanly possible with one price. So it's really easy to say, you know, we're going to group it. You need education, right? That's where the membership site came in, right? You need to implement. So that's where things like the scripts and the funnels and everything that you can just easily copy over came from. We're going to make it easy for you to implement. We're going to give you worksheets so that it's dumbed down, right? Make it easy to actually implement. Accountability, that's a big one. So adding some level of personal coaching. That may be like for, you know, I don't know, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, you're actually going to get me, right? So one of those was $6,000. I added me on there. I put my price on there. You literally just stack everything that's included. The tickets, the other thing nice about tickets was the inside. We're going to help you learn how to do it. We're going to help you implement it. We're going to give you the accountability to make sure you do it. But then when it's all built, we're going to send you to an event so you can optimize it. The event also acts as a premium. Optimize. Something tangible, a little bit more tangible. That can be a t-shirt, it could be a VIP box. We happen to use an event. I do think that there should be some kind of live event aspect either way. This one has to just be like the biggest marketing conference on the planet. So since we could get tickets on cheap, that was our premium. Some people, I can then turn around, and when we're talking about Facebook outreach, I can turn around and direct people who just want the ticket to the group. The ticket's $9.95. The selling price is $19.97. Now, tickets at that time are being sold for $9.95. They go up in a tiered manner. That's just how those tickets are sold. People who just want the tickets are going to get that. There was software involved. Software was thrown in. That value was like 17, some odd numbers. Tickets and software were enough to cover it. So the education and everything else just pushes them overboard. Is that any questions?
People would spend all that money?
Have people actually spent
Or
the,
did you add that all up, it's worth $20,000?
added all up, it was a little over 18,000.
Okay, and we'll give it to you today only for.
But
17.
here's the thing, this is a true number. If you, like the number I used for me, if you booked me by the hour, that was how much I charged.
Mhm.
If you booked Neil by the hour, that was how much he charged for the amount of hours that he was giving everyone access to. The scripts number was the exact number that Ryan Dice sold them for the first time. The funnels was my price for building a funnel for any other client. The marketing strategy was $297, which is the same amount of price that I would pay, someone would pay to come in here and do it now live. All of the prices were legitimate pricing. So I don't feel like you should lie. Like, pick numbers where you've legitimately sold your time, sold your script, sold your book. If a book only sells for $29 and you sit there and say, no, it's $290, no, that sounds stupid. Everyone can go on Amazon and see that that's not the case. You don't add discounts to that area, but then when you're done stacking, there's another slide that says, hey, none of that, this is the price you're paying. It's marketing, but it's not. Like, these are legit prices. You should not lie. Virginia literally, legitimately sells her live training for a certain amount. She legitimately sells her individual one-on-one time for a certain amount. If she built a ton of worksheets, how much, if you took all those worksheets, how much would you sell them for if that's all somebody wanted? If I'm going to spend, I mean, obviously my whole 3 months wasn't spent on worksheets. That over there is a model. That took me 3 days to sketch out. Now, not that single one. I did one, I was like, all right, start over, copy, paste this one. Okay, start over, copy. Was it the entire day? No, but it's 3 hours here, 4 hours there, 6 hours here. That's only one picture. So I would argue those might have been a lot more, but then you would take the cost and you would extrapolate them over several sales, right? How much would I legitimately sell them to one person for? And the value is there. Like, this free stuff that you're offering, and this is where my consultants always give me shit, this cannot be fake value. This cannot be surface value. It has to actually be seen as valuable to your ideal client. One of the worksheets in here was a plug and play bullet worksheet. All you have to do is say, this is the benefit I provide, and this is the risk if they don't do it. Here's the benefit I provide, and what was it? Benefit, I can't, here's the threat, or I don't know, they're over there on the wall. Don't make me think about them last minute. If you don't know what to say, that's a big deal. One that I didn't even think would be a big deal is a simple diagram, Venn diagram that says pick your niche. How hard is it to say, here's what I love, here's what I can actually do, and pick the top 3 options? Now, this was a bigger bubble, and then test it. That worksheet was pretty cool. I spent a lot of time on that one too. That's a big deal right there. They already thought they were getting value. You add an even kicker butter one, to refrain from cursing, that makes them super excited. And then once they go tell their friends and they start like, I felt like this was a down day. This day took so much energy. This became a down day. Keeping up your energy would be a good thing. I recommend standing and having food right there and then. Eat beforehand. Have some munchies, have some soda, something with some sugar to keep it going. This day was almost 3 hours. That was exhausting. Zoom was good. I will say Believe has been a little sketchy, although my internet has been too. Zoom was perfect. Flawless. Like, not to say there weren't parts where people like lagged a little bit, but then whenever Neil would lag, I would make sure to come back on. So having two great people to do, because nobody wants to hear just you talk. It's nothing personal to any of you, but for the most part, nobody wants to hear you talk for 2 hours. Having two people involved, which means two key partners that are all trying to sell the same thing, two people where you can take their services, their events, their whatever, and combine them. That was probably key into making that successful. Neil by himself could not have done it. Having me on there helped. Launching Ryan on there helped a lot. Ryan and me joking like we're best friends. Oh, look, it's even still live. So for those aspects, which part's muddy? Because I understand there's no pretty diagram for what I just laid out, and it actually does not exist on the internet. Nobody's actually laid it out or sold it or... Questions, comments?
Covered it pretty good.
Nothing? I think I had a couple Facebook ones. I can't see them right now. None for you, David? I think that would be really good for you're almost what I was thinking of, because you already have the group set up. It would just be a matter of actually going out of your way to launch something. It could be even doing the Vision Challenge live for 5 days plus, like bringing in speakers all
Yeah,
day
actually,
fun.
I like, you know, you when you describe it, you have it as 5 Facebook Live days, but one of the challenges that I have right now is I've been working with a lot of practitioners and stuff, and the things that I really want to do in the days has changed. You know, the videos that we have in the current 5 days, and I'm thinking that actually was something that I'm thinking about, how maybe have 5 structured days to launch the to do the Vision Challenge, and then feed them to the Catalyst and on, because that's, you know, the depth of the connection is still. So anyway, I'm kind of, it's kind of, I don't know with this, you know, if I have a specific question, that's.
And my writing is of course very clear, right?
So are you not advocating making any offers other than on the 4th day?
We happen to do the offer here. We originally were going to do it here. I'm actually glad we did it here, because then it gives you another day for people to come back to get additional value. No offers were made these days.
Right.
Not direct or hard. However, the fact that this portion of the education was only a part of the greater education comes up all the time. Right here, we want you, because there's a spot in the test worksheet, so somebody has to pick a very specific niche. You cannot market to everyone. You can say, oh, I can help anyone get from, you know, bad to good, and that might be true. However, for marketing purposes, there are people that are better ideal clients, and for marketing, narrowing those down as specific as humanly possible to launch or sell to them at a specific time frame with very specific pages, with very specific emails, that's where it's easier to turn people over and get them to convert. So in that way, I already know the majority of the people I've put in there. I know that they are either Kyvio users. I knew a lot of them were affiliate marketers, because that is where Neil and Steven came out of, well, Neil came out of. I know that Saul really pushed a lot of people, and he's a hardcore affiliate person. He sends 8 emails a day. It's insane to me. I knew I put a ton of life coaches in there, so that was where I tended to focus, because I could see the value heavily in a life coach taking their one-to-one type of offering and either supplementing it or expanding it in a lower offering using a membership site. So I already knew the audience I was talking to. Those audiences also feed off of each other, because the life coaches are not typically exposed to the affiliate marketers. The affiliate marketers are not typically exposed to the life coaches as much. So the ability, they actually started feeding off one another and saying, hey, I've done that and it works. And the life coach is going, whoa, I've never used Facebook like that. You can do that. So they kind of like taught each other stuff along the way. But it was just more or less dropping. hints. So the only mention of Kyvio didn't even come as the software didn't happen till here. I would argue Neil went too into it. He's an engineer. He got too techie. I had to like turn around and be like, hey, let's make the offer, Neil. Like, you've left me 15 minutes. I got caught up really. There's a technique in pitching, the way you use your words, the way you speak, the tempo. All along here, getting people to say yes, getting them to comment, hey, you know, I'm having technical problems. Like, this is a very real issue. I'm having technical issues. Can you comment if you can hear me? Like, can you hear me? Can you see me fine? Am I coming through all right? Hey, is that link working for you? Hey, where are you from? Starting to get to know people. Like, what would you ask? You came in here. What was that?
Sounded like a picture.
Screenshot.
Oh, yours. I was like, I don't see the cameras. I'm used to that being the cue that my DSLR has cut
Oh.
off.
No, that
And
was
I
just
need to
me.
stop talking.
No, it's just.
The ability to ask them questions that are a yes, that build those initial building blocks. When you walked in, oh, hi, I'm here for blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, you know, what's your name? Oh, my name's this. What do you do? I do this. Having those exact same conversations on Facebook Live. Hey, while I get set up here, where are you all from? Hey, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into this. I'm actually going to switch over to the screen share while I handle that technology. What is the biggest aspect that you're dealing with in your life that's causing the most pain? And so they start typing in and they're getting them to interact. You constantly have to get them to interact. The more they start commenting, the more the algorithm feeds on Facebook ads, or Facebook rather, and it starts to feed itself and people come in and people go off. And if you get really good at it and you do this over and over and over again, what the speakers do, what a Russell Brunson would do, is he would go in and say, okay, my video, let me draw a little block down here, on Facebook
The fact is
Live,
conversion rates are down. They're lower than ever. I don't care what market you're in. I don't care what product you're selling, what price point. It's getting harder.
That's your buddy Ryan.
I know. So it's always going to have some little curve where it goes up and then it's going to have a peak. And then sometimes there can be a stark drop off, right? If there's a stark drop off, you know you did something wrong right there and you need to go see what it is and edit what you've done somewhere to smooth it out. The only way, of course, to do that is to do it over and over and over again. The first one's not going to be fantabulous. The only reason I could say this one had so much credibility that people watched, the people paid. Neil has a reputation, I have a reputation, Ryan has a reputation. All of us know how to pitch. I would argue Neil was probably on the lighter side of that. He was getting too techie. There are things that you only learn over time by comparing those things and figuring it out. And making peace. Sometimes people just drop off. Sometimes people are on vacation and don't show up even though they said they would.
Oh, the Super Bowl just started. See you later.
Oh, if you schedule something on the Super Bowl, that is your fault. Unless you were selling to like some musicians and artists who are like,
right, women who
Super
don't give
Bowl?
a shit about the Super Bowl.
what color jersey are we rooting for? Where's the table with the food? I always love the memes for the Super Bowl for all the people who are like, I don't care. Are the Cowboys playing? I'm out. You can start doing this. There's no reason you can't formulate and have this launched in 2 weeks. And if you don't, that's on you, not the system. Because the tech on here is really, really minuscule. The landing page is probably the hardest aspect of the tech. Kyvio does it for $27 a month. ClickFunnels for $100 a month. OptimizePress for $95, $97 a year. The emails, MailChimp is free under $200. I don't know that I recommend it. ActiveCampaign is like $25 a month. Constant Contact is $20 a month. I forget all how much each one of those are. Custom audiences from the landing page could be done for free with ActiveCampaign and a Facebook pixel. It could be done manually with any email list if you know how to upload a CSV. Pain in the butt, not gonna lie. I feel like every time the CSV changes for every different format and product, what are the hard parts? Meet Leonard, like I said, that one was crucial. It's a little hiccup to get through, like to learn how to set up the back end and the templates and figure out how to use it. You do have to pay for LinkedIn. And I always recommend testing Facebook Live before you actually do it. Get with a friend, jump on, play with the service. Do it on your own personal page and laugh your tushies off with your friends as you're stupid with it. I did that. It was funny. I'm like, is it saying live? I can't tell. What am I posting? Is there call to action showing? Wait, who's commenting? No commenting in groups. You can see the comments with Believe. You can't see what their name is. Zoom doesn't even offer that too. You have to like have two screens up, so you have your actual live conference here, and on the same internet you're trying to watch it and see the comments. Super fun. I would almost recommend just having someone else in another room watch it and like text you the comments and who they're from.
Yeah, actually, I've seen that though. I mean, I've seen people do that using Zoom and Facebook Live, and everyone I've seen, they've had somebody else, not necessarily even in the same room, just.
Or even having them run the tech and you just be like a visitor if you're using Believe. Like the nice part about Believe is you can actually bring the questions onto the screen so that they can actually visually see the question, and it'll even bring up the person's picture from their profile picture. We didn't do it on Believe though, so Zoom was nice. No questions, really. That's really hard, and seriously, almost 20 grand.
In 5 days.
I find it interesting that that figure, 18,898, is very similar if you look down how much you said the
This is
package-
by accident.
I'm just looking at it.
This is more of a how many people did we have in the group. So the goal was actually to sell 25 at around $2,000 a piece, which would have been 50, right? We were expecting, the goal was to have 5,000 people. So at 972, if we had 5,000 people, you could have multiplied that in theory by 5. This is only a result of traffic. The nice part about this is the group does not go away. Especially if you cultivate these groups, this is where Facebook is going, is the Facebook group. Now, that may or may not work for every single business on the planet. It's better when somebody can self-identify as something. So one of the aspects, like was saying, it's the My First 1,000. My First 1,000, as far as Meet Leonard, it turned off some people on LinkedIn. They're like, it would have been a lot better if you said, make my first 100,000. The process, the idea on 1,000 is if I can show you how to make $1,000 a month online in residual income, the only difference becomes scaling it. The only difference between $1,000 a month and $100,000 is scale. Now we're just driving more traffic. We're doing events not just in Dallas. Now you have to travel, right? You have to, not just authors, it has to be life coaches and marketers and this, and you'll need bigger partners. That number's scalable. And the group already exists and they're excited. Just like an email list, like, so he had 4,000 and only, about 100 responded in his email list. This is getting to be where Facebook will become the new email list. They already have a CRM built into messaging that you can pay for that starts at like 10 a month. And then you add a Facebook group, those 972 people, we can turn around and already schedule another launch with different content that feeds into the same stuff. Because there are people that just could not afford it this time. Even $397 a month for 6 months was too much. $1997 all up front was too much. But they loved the content. You ask them, like, one of the questions was like, would you like us to keep the content up? Because we're supposed to delete it at 12. Actually, I think it was supposed to be deleted at 8 this morning. The worksheets I'm deleting. Neil is nice. I'm not that nice. He'll keep up the videos because it has an offer in it. Somebody suggested it's good. I know what it is. It's good. It's my packages. It's coffee cups. Coffee cups and soda, because I have a caffeine addiction. He'll leave these up because it adds value to the group, and the only way to see those videos is to join the group. And once you're in the group, you're essentially on his list for the next launch. So he'll leave the content up. We're already going to be providing the content in a broken up sequence to the people who are Kyvians who already have his software. it's going to be left up. You can turn around and schedule another launch in 1 month, pick up some new partners. I could just as easily say, you know, we had Ryan this time. Next time, I'm going to see if I can get Jeff Walker on. Different system of funneling. Hey, you have an event coming up. I'd like to promote it and add it to the mix. I'll be honest, Ryan's going to be it because I want to win the next contest for how many traffic and conversion tickets I can sell. Because, and that's not even about money because I'm not making any profit. It's because I want friends in San Diego. I want all my people there. Any other questions?
It's good.
Yeah, yeah. Even Randy, I could frame it up for you.
You could,
Mm-hmm. Just what I needed. It started an ecom Facebook ad this weekend. Oh, that was him. He was there.